Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We in the building. Today I'm here with a very special guest, DJ Grandmaster Scratch.
Yeah, yeah.
He needs no introduction. How you feeling today, sir?
Good, feeling good, man. How about you, Fizzy?
I'm
Fizzy
feeling
Films in the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm feeling real good. I'm very happy to be here. Happy to finally be able to put this together.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, so let's get straight into it. So you're from Richmond, California.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Born and bred.
What was it like growing up in Richmond?
Man, it was good, man. You know what I mean? I was born in '68, leading up to the '80s. Being a teenager or whatnot. It was good. Diverse community growing up in Hilltop. You know what I mean? It wasn't too bad. Richmond was still young at that point. You know what I mean? So it was a good life.
By young, what exactly do you mean?
Yeah, young me and I got into DJing at 12 years old. You know what I mean? Born in 1968.
So you started DJing when you were 12. How did you get into that?
Yeah, me and my homeboys, HTP Productions, my little crew. You know what I mean? E-Baby, Chili D, and DJ Saint. You know what I mean? We started trying to emulate Run DMC. We wanted to be like all the people we admired from New York, the Bronx, where hip hop was born. You know what I mean? Trying to be like the greats. You know what I mean? I started off with a little beatbox. We all had beatbox. We used to all carry them around. You know what I mean? Mine had speakers that came off, and I had like a little quarter-inch jack. I came out of that, hooked it up to a turntable. I started mixing tape and tape and records. You know what I mean? At the time. You know what I mean? So that's how we started building our little HTP Productions and, making our little beats and rapping. You know what I mean? That's where it all started at.
Was there any other group in Richmond or even the Bay Area at the time that were involved in DJ, production work, things of that nature?
Yeah, yeah. At the time we had the Too Shorts, the E40s, the Calvin T's, you know what I mean? Everybody's bubbling at that time, you know what I mean? The rapping Fortes, you know what I mean? So we all trying to be like them and trying to be, just as seasoned as them, because they was coming with some real heat at the time, you know what I mean? So we wanted to be on that caliber as far as my HTP production crew. That's where it was going, you know what I mean?
Okay, and from there, you guys are starting out. What's the next move look like?
The next move is coming, you know what I mean? My homeboy Vaughn, we going around, we buying records, DJ Saint. We going to Leopold's, T's My Uzis, Tower Records. Next thing you know, Master P come with this little record store in Richmond called No Limit Records. And my homeboy Vaughn, he was more out there buying records a little bit more than me because I'm in the workforce at that point. You know what I mean? So I'm like at a career type of job. So I'm like loving hip hop, but I'm like saying, if it happened, it happened, but at least I could pay my bills type of shit. So my homeboy Vaughn, DJ Saint, he come and tell me that, Master P is looking for a DJ. This guy got a No Limit record store. And so I go down there and Vaughn introduced me to him and it just started clicking right away. You know what I mean? We started cooking up, trying to see what we was gonna do, we started recording a little bit. He had like a little makeshift studio, you know what I mean? And, had a couple of little artists like an R&B chick and her husband, he was singing a little R&B. We was putting a little stuff together. Master P had a little computer and it was going cool, but it was like, I had met this guy, through one of my coworkers named Marvin Webb, may he rest in peace. He took me to K. Lou's. And so when I seen K. Lou's studio, I was like, really impressed because I'm already really heavy in the game at that point. So I'm telling Master P, I'm not telling him at the time, but I'm looking at what we doing. I'm just like saying to myself, I know a guy with a real studio, you know what I mean? So, make a long story short, we went from that little tinkered around, took him to K. Lou's. We finished out the little project that we started off, which was called What's the Deal? This is the first What's the Deal tape, I'm talking about. And we did one joint with the little R&B singers. It was called Why You Do What You Do. We had another cut called What's the Deal? That's the title track. Then we had a song called No Limit. That was like the most bangingest track on the CD. You know what I mean? So we finished a little bit of those projects off at K. Lou's, and then we came up with the, guys was hanging out in the record store. We came up with the Untouchables. You know what I mean? It was me and Master P. I was trying to be a general, not a soldier, initially when we first hooked up. I had like a little contract and everything, you know what I mean, where when I started seeing it moving, I came with a little bit of bread, and then, we kept it moving. That's how we was able to go to K. Lou's. But we created the Untouchables, and then it just kept moving from there. You know what I mean? I brought in some of my clique, my homeboy Chili D. Big O was hanging out at the store. King George, he came a little bit later after we had made a couple, 2 or 3 tracks. You know what I mean? He came from New Orleans. But yeah. And initially it's just me and Master P trying to be like, Eric B. and Rakim, or, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And then we created the Untouchables. You know what I mean? It started organically like that, and then it progressed to the Untouchables. Silk the Shocker, C. Murder, none of them dudes was around. You know what I mean? It was just DJ GM Easy and Master P at that point. You know what I mean? That's how it all organically started.